10 subtle signs that you're lonely. Being lonely is something we all go through. Loneliness occurs when feelings of loneliness and agonizing social isolation go on for a long period of time. One of the obvious signs of loneliness isn't just like the feeling like you don't have enough friends, but the feeling of being alone, even if you are surrounded with lots of friends or colleagues. People experiencing loneliness will sometimes have many social connections, online and otherwise, and yet experience a feeling of isolation and disconnection from other people. Ongoing loneliness can trouble even the most seemingly socialized people both mentally and physically. Being the life of the party doesn't necessarily exclude someone from being lonely. Loneliness symptoms and signs may vary depending on who you are and your situation. If you consistently feel some or all of the following, you may be dealing with loneliness. 1. You constantly feel tired. Our mental condition can cause feeling of exhaustion, as well as energy-consuming activities. Feeling of loneliness and feeling of exhaustion can be symptoms of some bigger problem, like depression. In 2011, a LinkedIn study was published that links to sleep fragmentation, which is defined as arousals and awakenings that disrupt the normal stages and architecture of sleep. At the end of the day, it's the point at which you can't stay asleep through the night, and are continuously waking up. The verdict of the study is that loneliness is a remarkable gauge of sleep fragmentation, and that lonely individuals do not sleep as well as individuals who feel more connected to others. 2. You're shopping a lot. Materialism and loneliness have an interesting kind of connection. Studies prove that loneliness causes people to frequently go out and do some shopping. Shopping is something we all want to do. But if you're shopping more often than not, that could be a sign of something else. If you found yourself regularly buying stuffs, especially those things you don't need, you could be going through a rough patch. 3. You check your phone too much. Lonely people sort of have their own world where nobody else exists but them, and their fakes are simply the habit of not being their own self. They often pretend that they are busy or that have so much to do with their friends or circle of people they are related to. They constantly check their phone and always pretend that they are always talking, chatting or connecting with someone over the phone. Studies have shown that spending too much time on the phone is bad for the focus and mental health. Lonely people build up this layer of anxiety surrounding the use of technology, that if they don't check in as often as they think they should, they are missing out. 4. You're binge watching. A study from the University of Texas found that people who are more lonely and depressed are more likely to binge watch. The researchers put binge watching into a category with minor addiction, where a substance, in this case, the entire season of House of Cards, is used to amuse people from their loneliness or depression. 5. You take a lot of long, hot showers and baths. People who are lonely are probably dealing with something deeper as they go on to their baths. Folks who speak up about the comfort from hot long baths are lonely, but they know about it. In 2013, a study called The Substitutability of Physical and Social Warmth in Daily Life stated that people who were experiencing sensations of loneliness were more likely to take long, hot showers and baths, which made them feel immediately better. 6. You're spending a lot of time on social media. For most of the young adults, social media may not be so social after all. Among people in every age category, heavy use of platforms such as Facebook, Snapchat and Instagram was associated with feelings of social isolation, a study finds. The study says that those who spend more than 2 hours a day on social media were twice as likely to feel lonely than those who spent 30 minutes or less on social media platforms. However, the root cause is still unclear, but the point of the study is replacing your real-world relationships with social media use as detrimental to your well-being. 7. You act ridiculous around opposite gender. This may sound ridiculous, but lonely people often flirt a lot with the opposite gender to cope in with their loneliness. If you find yourself flirting more often than ever, especially if you are not the type of person who's flirting, maybe it's a sign that you're lonely. 8. You're eating too much. A lot of people find comfort in food, which is fully understood. This might be an ordinary habit, but sometimes, you eat too much because deep inside, you know that your only companion is food. When you found yourself eating a lot than normal, you might cover up for your loneliness. 9. You feel symptoms of depression coming on. Loneliness and social isolation have a strong psychological connection. Overwhelming feeling of isolation regardless of where you are and who's around, negative feelings of self-doubt and self-worth which tend to be pretty coexistent, and that loneliness is what's called a prerequisite of depression. Having this feeling will eventually develop into a bigger mental issue like depression if not treated. 10. You pretend you're happy being single. Being single doesn't necessarily mean you're lonely. Being alone and being lonely is two different things. Some people out there are truly happy that they're single while some are not. However, there are cases when single people are really lonely, they just haven't figured it out yet. One obvious sign you will notice is when you often fake your happiness. Not just a happy life, but a happy, single and ready to mingle kind of life. It's a make-believe lifestyle, but deep down inside, you know that what you're portraying isn't true. Long-term feelings of loneliness can affect your health in many ways. If left unchecked, these signs can put you at greater risk for more serious medical and emotional problems such as depression, sleep disorders, heart disease and substance use. If this all sounds like you, know that psychology has tips on fixing chronic sensations of loneliness. Do you feel any of these signs? Which sign do you often feel? Comment your answer below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up, and hit that bell button to continually get updates from our channel.